Dragons of Ardaine. Hello. Hi. I'm John Solo. I'm chilling here for a second. I ran a bunch of errands earlier, but anyways. Roe Horvat. He has been one of my loyal authors over the years. I've done a ton of books from Roe Horvat. This one has been a bit of a different matter. This is some of the back catalog. Dragons of Ardaine. Apparently it's been out for a while. I had never read it because I don't get a chance to read unless I get paid for it. And now he's paying me for it. So anyways, this is fantastic. They're all standalones. I think there's 3 or 4 books. This is the first one. And there's actually a connection between this series and another series of Roe because he does that great. But anyways, I don't want to give any spoilers. This is good shit. Literally good shit. What you're going to watch right now is a Storytime episode. This is where I'm recording an entire chapter. And this one was weird too because, excuse me, I got a bit of cum in my throat. Hang on. Excuse me about that. This one was a bit weird because my lovely assistant Tracy wasn't with me. So I was in Discord, but there wasn't really anyone in there at the time. I recorded this really early in the morning. It was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. No one was in there. So I got Discord up. I don't think that I actually talked to anyone. And Trace wasn't with me because Trace doesn't get up until 9 or 10. So it is what it is. I tried my best. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. For sure. There's 3 scene breaks in this section, so you're going to hear a lot of, like I'll pause, I'll clear my throat, whatever. This is a real live recording session, Storytime episode. Love you guys. I'm John Solo. Not sure if I said that or not yet, but have fun. Peace, y'all. 5. Fireworks. Laurie. Something about this man turned me into a raging nymphomaniac. Here I was, naked and pinned to the wall of his apartment, my bent legs dangling in the air, while his amazing dick sawed in and out of my hole. Amazing. I'm not sure if that sounded right or not. Naked and pinned to the wall of his apartment, my bent legs dangling in the air, while his amazing dick sawed in and... I don't like the way I did that. While his... I should be able to get right there. Naked and pinned to the wall of his apartment, my bent legs dangling in the air, while his amazing dick sawed in and out of my hole, his hips slapping against my ass. I was coming my brains out for the umpteenth time, and he had yet to remove his suit. Fuck, I needed a break, or I'd get dehydrated. This wasn't me. Sure, I could give out flirty vibes, especially to people who didn't understand my brand of sarcasm, but I didn't like casual sex, and never did one-night stands. Ever. I hadn't even touched another alpha since the awful debacle with my piece of shit ex. Then this man looked at me like he hadn't eaten in a week and I was his dinner, and my body yelled at me, "Want it now, and more." He was freakishly big everywhere. I'd never been interested in size. A good lover could work miracles with what he had, right? For all my bold talk back in the restrooms, when I'd felt him inside me for the first time, my eyes had almost fallen out of their sockets. But already in the car, I'd just sat on his cock, and my body molded around him with a happy sigh. How could he possibly fit inside me? I'd never understand. But he did, and it didn't hurt at all. When he moved in me, my guts sang. Now, holding me up as if I weighed nothing, he gave me these. It didn't hurt at all. When he moved in me, my guts sang. It didn't hurt at all. When he moved in me, my guts sang. Now, holding me up as if I weighed nothing, he gave me these long, firm thrusts, and topped each with a pull on my hips so that his big cockhead burrowed deeper into my flesh. He owned me with those fucks, feeding my climax. He owned me with those fucks, feeding my climax. My cock bounced off his abs, then he sped up and, oh fuck, I screamed as another tsunami of pure delight rippled through my stomach and flared into my whole body. Up until today, I'd thought multiple orgasms outside of heat were a myth. I'd never been so happy to be proven wrong. A myth. A myth. I'd never been so happy to be proven wrong. He shuddered and pressed into me, his monster of a dick pulsing in me, and I moaned with relief. Getting flooded with this man's cum was like a spa treatment. He stroked my thighs gently, slowly putting me on my feet, supporting my weight. It struck me as funny that he was so careful about my thighs gently, slowly putting me on my feet, supporting my weight. It struck me as funny that he was so careful after the brutal pummeling he had just given me, but it felt nice, too, reassuring, like he knew what I needed. My confused hole twitched when he pulled out, and a mix of bodily fluids ran down my taint while I struggled to regain my balance. How the hell did he? Bodily fluids ran down my taint while I struggled to regain my balance. How the hell did he spill so much cum? 3 times in a row? I wanted to see those balls, but before I could catch a glimpse, he stuffed his half-hard, wet cock into his underwear and turned away, zipping up. "Do you want a shower?" he asked casually, as if he hadn't just fucked me senseless by his entry door. "Sure." He gestured to a discreet door to the left. "I'll bring you something comfortable to wear." Door to the left. "I'll bring you something comfortable to wear." I hurried to where he'd pointed because I was dripping jizz on his very expensive-looking dark wood flooring. "What the hell are you doing, Lawrence? So reckless and irresponsible? You've met him at your workplace, for heaven's sake." Irresponsible? You've met him at your workplace, for heaven's sake. The voice in my head sounded a little like my dad, and I shut it down. Not now. There'd be plenty of time to freak out later when I was back home, eating ice cream straight out of the tub with my roommate's arm around my shoulders. The shower stall was bigger than my bathroom, with the warm water washing the sweat and slick off me, cum still trickling out of my positively delighted hole. I reminded myself I didn't even know the guy's name. He might have said it when we shook hands, but I didn't remember it. After a brief knock, the door opened and I jumped. "Here." Mr. Tall, dark, freaking beautiful left a folded white terrycloth robe on the vanity. "Thank you," I piped up. His blue eyes flashed to mine. He nodded and left. Shit, we'd hardly exchanged 20 sentences. He was going to think I was a hair-brained cockslut, which, considering the happenings of the evening, I was apparently turning into. We'd fucked in the bathroom at my boss's New Year's Eve party. We'd made out in the stairwell to the garage in the office building where I worked. I'd ridden his dick like the world was about to end in his car in the garage. Very nice car, by the way. Then he brought me here, fingered me in the elevator, before tearing my clothes off and shoving his dick back into me by then. Very nice car, by the way. Then he brought me here, fingered me in the elevator, before tearing my clothes off and shoving his dick back into my by then very sloppy yet still needy hole as soon as the door closed behind us. Long, fat, solid, absurdly perfect dick. I'd never enjoyed a cock more. I was still absurdly perfect dick. I'd never enjoyed a cock more. I was still to see it properly, but my body seemed to have fallen in love with that big boy already. Since Mr. Dark was giving me comfortable attire for the evening, I was staying over. Hopefully, I'd get to explore later. What was happening? Had someone truly spiked my drink, and I was passed out in the toilets dreaming all of this? Spiked my drink, and I was passed out in the toilets dreaming all of this? I was spending New Year's Eve with a gorgeous man in his top-floor apartment in one of the poshest parts of the city, and he seemed unable to keep his hands off me. He had served me orgasm after orgasm, and there was more to come. No, this didn't seem like my life at all. The sensations in my body were real, though. The looseness and slickness inside me felt oppressive to the point I couldn't tell if I was horny anew or still buzzing after the thorough welcome my generous host had provided by the door. I put 2 fingers in me to wash out the rest of the mess, but the touch felt nice, so I lingered. Moaning quietly, I massaged the tissue, imagining his cum was a lotion seeping into me. Damn, that was incredible. And no, I wasn't anywhere close to my heat. I did that a year ago with my ex, and it didn't feel anything like this. Next time Mr. Dark fucked me, I could lie down and keep the cum in me longer. Yep, I was getting aroused anew. Get a grip, Lawrence. I was getting aroused anew. Get a grip, Lawrence. I found an unopened toothbrush in the cabinet above the sink and figured my host wouldn't mind if I used it. It was for his own benefit, after all. Showered, dry, and with my teeth brushed, I looked at myself in the mirror. There were red marks on my neck and jaw. Not hickeys, really, but more like bite marks and chafed spots. Mr. Dark had an excitingly coarse stubble. My brown eyes looked crazy. My hair was a mess. My lips were cherry red, and I was grinning like a maniac. Okay, let's go find out Mr. Dark's real name. Wrapped in the robe, I crept out of the bathroom. The vast open space boasted a state-of-the-art kitchen, a lounge area, and a glass wall with a balcony overseeing the Ardaine city skyline. My host leaned with his hip against the kitchen island, 2 empty champagne glasses ready. The bottle stood unopened by his arm. I shouldn't have brushed my teeth just yet. Oh well. I didn't know if you liked sparkling wine. Thanks. I love bubbly. What? Liked sparkling wine. Thanks. I love bubbly. What? Bubbly? Who talked like that? Pull yourself together, Lawrence. But how? I was in a robe, nothing underneath, in an apartment of an obviously loaded, high-flying alpha whose name I didn't know, even though he'd already fucked me 3 times in the past couple of hours, and I seemed to have developed a thing for his cum. Could I taste it? Could I taste it? Yes, just like a hair-brained cockslut. Seemed to have developed a thing for his cum. Could I taste it? Yes, just like a hair-brained cockslut. Looking at him, opening that bottle, the tendons of his forearms rippling, I could easily hop on top of that kitchen island and beg him to rail me again. What the hell was wrong with me? He'd taken off his suit jacket, changed his shirt, I'd stained the first one with bodily fluids, and rolled his sleeves up. The shiny tie was gone, and his white shirt now revealed a sliver of a smooth, tanned chest. Fluids, and rolled his sleeves up. The shiny tie was gone. Fluids, and rolled his sleeves up. The shiny tie was gone, and his white shirt now revealed a sliver of a smooth, tanned chest. Put it together with that chiseled, stubbled jaw, prominent nose, and the thickest, blackest eyebrows I'd ever seen, and I might have ended up in a TV commercial. Probably something to do with luxury chocolate or perfume. He stepped closer, handing me the glass, and I took it in an automatic movement, even as I got lost in those blue eyes. Was he a hypnotist? I got lost in those blue eyes. Was he a hypnotist? His hand cupped my jaw, and his lips slanted over mine. He caressed my tongue with his, and I fucking whimpered. After a few seconds, he pulled back. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Pulled back. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. That made two of us. This close, the thin ribbon of yellow around his pupils looked fascinating. He had the most unusual, spellbinding eyes. 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 I blinked and sipped the wine. I'm sorry, Just say it, it's going to get worse later. I suspect you said your name, but there were so many people, and then we... His eyes widened, the yellow ribbons shining like flickering fire, and my pulse quickened with irrational fear. What? Like flickering fire, and my pulse quickened with irrational fear. What? But he was smiling now, as handsome as ever. The flash of unease left as fast as it appeared, leaving only excitement in its wake. Good God, I haven't even told you my name, have I? I thought I introduced myself that first time, when I got stuck in that mutinous contraption. No, you didn't. I'm so sorry, Lawrence. I didn't even tell you my name and jumped you in the toilets like a caveman. I swear I'm normally quite well behaved. Well, you didn't technically jump me. Technically. Oh my God, that grin. Well behaved. Well, you didn't technically jump me. Technically. Oh my God, that grin. It's Ernest Bracknell. He held my gaze, looking a little sheepish, which was extremely out of place with his imposing figure. Maybe I didn't jump you, but I was... persuasive? I finished for him. Maybe I didn't jump you, but I was... persuasive. I finished for him. Ernest Bracknell grinned again, dimples showing. And yeah, I could spread my legs in the toilet, stall, car, by the entryway, in his kitchen, and basically wherever else he'd want. Somebody please sedate me. Wherever else he'd want. Somebody please sedate me. After swallowing more wine, he leaned in for another kiss. The scent of this man was remarkable. I couldn't compare it to anything, except that it made me think of mountains and islands and vast, endless skies. He tugged on my hand and led me to the balcony. Fresh air? He asked. Sure. Leaning on the railing, he sighed deeply, his massive chest expanding. The view was spectacular, overlooking the proudest parts of Ardaine's skyline. Street lamps reflected off the polished, high-rise buildings around us, and a Sol rocket flew into the sky, bursting into a shower of light. Someone couldn't wait for midnight and released the fireworks early. I apologize, Ernest said. For what? I'm not usually like this. I don't behave like a slut in heat every Friday either. Way to show him how eloquent you are, Lawrence. But why are you sorry? Morningbrook, eloquent you are, Lawrence. But why are you sorry? His look turned intense, frowning a little. I'm very attracted to you. Obviously, I want to get to know you better. I raised my eyebrows at him. Still missing the point of the apology, Ernest. I liked saying his name. Ernest. It sounded serious and somehow classic. I should touch you less and talk to you more. Then you might stay the weekend. And a self-deprecating smile. He was charming. How did he go from dark and broody to charming in a nanosecond? Let's talk, then. I'm all right. I started at 7, so I've been at it a while. I don't know why I logged out after my first session, but I did and jumped back in again. Did charming in a nanosecond. Let's talk, then. Chuckling, he raised his glass for another gulp of his drink. You are Davidson's assistant, right? What does that entail besides luring people into vicious revolving doors? Did he really want the boring details? I keep an eye on Mr. Sullivan's schedule, answer calls, book meetings, sort through files and correspondence, smile, order food and pick up suits from dry cleaners, help at events. Exciting, important stuff. No pixie dust, sadly. Exciting, important stuff. No pixie dust, sadly. For Davidson Sullivan, that's a superhero job, Lawrence. I've never met a man as changeable and irritable as him. Ernest was not only exceptionally handsome and freakishly strong, but he was also nice to boot. He found something good about my lowly minion occupation and turned it into a compliment. Was he for real? What are your worst personality traits? I asked. He sucked in a little of the champagne and coughed. I cringed. I'm sorry, I don't know why I asked that. You do know? Tell me. I waved around. You're handsome, intelligent, live in this place. The wine is excellent, and you're an amazing lay. Trailing off, I shrugged. His eyes looked way too serious for a moment. You're looking for the catch. Gazing at him expectantly, I sipped my wine. Without the aftertaste of toothpaste, the champagne was indeed lovely. Ernest rubbed his neck, seeming a little worried. I'm a neat freak, and like to stay in control. I'd figured that out already. His place looked like it had been ripped from a magazine centerpiece, and when we'd fucked, oh yeah, he was in control. I travel a lot, rarely staying in one place for a long time, which makes me a terrible friend. A short but telling glance accompanied his statement. Terrible friend and no boyfriend material. Message received. Sigh. I knew he was too good to be real. I'd enjoy the weekend, get railed like 15 more times, and then forget about him. And I have a lot of family baggage, he finished. What are yours? Worst personal traits? Ernest nodded, grinning again, all cute. I say things without thinking. His grin widened as if it were a good thing. And today has proven I have way less restraint than I thought. Those are the worst. I can't show all my cards in the first round. I like it when you lose restraint. Stepping closer, he took my now empty glass. How come I want to kiss you again? How come I want to kiss you again? Instead of answering, I tilted my face. With the hint of champagne, he tasted even better. Our tongues tangled, lips suckled, his hard bulge poked my stomach, and embarrassingly enough, my body was oh so ready for him again. I'd never been this attracted to any man, ever, which was slightly terrifying, but I didn't dwell on it. I was too busy savoring him. I thought we would spend the rest of the evening in conversation, he whispered against my lips. Are you going to apologize again? No. I can smell your arousal. Of course he could. I was leaking so much slick around this guy, it was a miracle I didn't have a snail trail behind me. Oh God, did I really think that thought? I giggled against his lips. My brain was a mess. What is it? Nothing. Just You make me insanely horny. I don't recognize myself. Make me insanely horny. I don't recognize myself. He swiftly bent down and put the glasses on the floor before roping his arms around my waist, then diving underneath my robe for my ass cheeks. He kneaded them and I hummed. That's very lucky, because I need to fuck you again. This time, we did it on the balcony. This time, we did it on the balcony. I was hoping to get my mouth on his dick and explore, but he wouldn't give me a chance. In control all the way. It turned me on. Explore, but he wouldn't give me a chance. In control all the way. It turned me on, so I didn't complain. He untied the robe and toppled me onto a lounge chair I hadn't even noticed before. In a few seconds, my legs were in the air, and his tongue was in my ass. Fucking bliss. He made hunger to the air, and his tongue was in my ass. Fucking bliss. He made hungry humming noises, alternating between deep licks and gentle suckling, and I melted. Fuck, you taste like a miracle. My ass gaped open when he spoke, his lips brushing my rim. His voice vibrated into me. I want to make you come like this. I'll drink out of your hole when you come for me. Uh-huh. Not like I could manage any actual words. Not like I could manage any actual... It's gaping hole. What's wrong with gaping holes? Not like I could manage any actual words. Not like I could manage any actual words. He was relentless, and I mewled from the sudden intensity. My nipples ached for some reason I didn't have the mental capacity to analyze, so I pinched them and pulled on them. When his tongue swirled and wiggled deeper than ever, I lost control of the sounds I was making. Curses interspersed with wild moans and keening cries. Curses interspersed with wild moans and keening cries. I briefly wondered if anyone could hear or see us up here, but it was dark, and we were above all the nearest rooftops, so unless someone had a helicopter with a long-distance night vision lens, my ass was probably safe. And if someone below cared to listen, let them know just how much fun I was having. Whatever. I stopped thinking. How much fun I was having. Whatever. I stopped thinking. His tongue was pure magic. My lower body singing, I lay folded in half, as exposed as I could be. He somehow managed to suck on my rim while tongue-fucking me. His hand milked my cock, and I was done for. I yelled out my orgasm, and he growled. His loud slurping noises made me shudder and twitch. His loud slurping noises made me shudder and twitch. The spinning slowed, and I took some deep breaths. He lapped at my relaxed hold gently, stroking my thighs. You're still dressed, I muttered. He lapped at my relaxed hold gently, stroking my thighs. You're still dressed, I muttered, hoarse after all the ecstatic yelling. With his mouth on my rim, he shrugged out of his shirt, a button clattering on the tiles. The sound of a belt buckle hitting the floor followed. Clattering on the tiles. The sound of a belt buckle hitting the floor followed. He rose, finally naked, and he was glorious. Night lights glowed on his muscular body, the grand shoulders. Let's keep trying. Night lights glowed on his muscular body, the grand shoulders. Night lights glowed on his muscular body, the grand shoulders, amazing pecs, and a freaking 8-pack. Did he live at the gym? I barely caught a glimpse of his thick cock before it was digging into me. Oh, the long slide in. He was hard. And yes, that's a given when an alpha is aroused, but Ernest's cock was the definition of rock solid. like warm stone covered with a thin sheet of softest velvet. The crown was so firm I felt every inch of the path it made along the front wall of my hole, stroking over my gland with laser-like precision. And when I arched from the miraculous sensation, the tip rested against the sealed opening deep up my hole, the mouth to my womb. Sealed opening deep up my hole, the mouth to my womb. Sealed opening deep up my hole, the mouth to my womb. Ernest filled me to the brim. Our bodies slotted together like a key into a lock, and we moaned in unison. He was perfect. I hadn't had sex this good since, well, ever. I hadn't had sex this good since, well, ever. He stayed for a moment, lodged in me, and kissed me with disconcerting focus, like it was all he ever wanted to do. I tasted traces of my slick on his lips, and it was hot as hell. I tasted traces of my slick on his lips, and it was hot as hell. Then he moved, slow at first, just small thrusts deep in me, poking at my suddenly. Moved, slow at first, just small thrusts deep in me, poking at my. Lost my place on the page. Moved. Slow at first, just small thrusts deep in me, poking at my suddenly very interested womb. I was between my first and second heat. By all counts, that organ should be coiled and asleep, but this man's dick roused it, and every cell in my guts was on board. Dick roused it, and every cell in my guts was on board. Ernest prolonged his thrusts, giving me his impressive length from root to tip and back, and my insides buzzed with joy. He hit the target, like 100 points, bingo, success on each thrust, and under the assault on the most sensitive spot in my body, something changed in me. Most sensitive spot in my body, something changed in me. Something new and exciting awoke deep inside me, and colorful fantasies sprouted in my mind. Since I felt completely safe, I let myself enjoy them. I imagined Ernest fucking that sealed gate open, lodging his cockhead in the narrow channel, and flooding my womb with his cum, which was impossible outside of heat, but my sex-muddled brain loved the idea. Outside of heat, but my sex-muddled brain loved the idea. On the next thrust, Ernest pressed right there again, and whoa, a mini orgasm fizzled through my guts, and the sweetest sense of satisfaction lingered in my belly. I wanted more. A harmless fantasy didn't hurt anyone, right? I tilted my hips up, and he hit the spot at an even better angle, and I let myself drown in the bliss. Yeah, bust me open. Shove your beautiful dick in there and come into my womb. Breed me. Yes, fucking breed me. Oh, wow. I liked that. Breed me. Oh, wow. I liked that. While I didn't actually want to get knocked up and have a kid. Breed me. Oh, wow. I liked that. While I didn't actually want to get knocked up and have a kid, the idea of this man thoroughly inseminating me turned my crank. That was new. I realized I was smiling while pleasure sizzled in my very center, and Ernest's cock pushed that big red button over and over. Ernest's cock pushed that big red button over and over. You're intoxicating. I can still taste your slick, like a fucking drug. Can't get enough of your cock. Harder. Go deeper. Impale me all the way and come in me. Breed me. Yes. Oh, yes. You want more? He didn't wait for an answer. He braced himself on the back of my thighs and slammed into me, grunting. He braced himself on the back of my thighs and slammed into me, grunting. He braced himself on the back of my thighs and slammed into me, grunting. And just like that, he sent me into orbit. Fireworks. Literally. Just as my body exploded, so did the sky. Literally. Just as my body exploded, so did the sky. It must have been midnight, because above us, thousands of colorful lights blossomed into an outrageous spectacle. I threw my head back. My hole fluttered and pulsated, clenching on the amazingly hard cock. Full fluttered and pulsated, clenching on the amazingly hard cock. Full fluttered and pulsated, clenching on the amazingly hard cock. Waves of heat flared from my womb, one after another, and my harmless little fantasy fueled my orgasm. Fill my womb with your cum. Knock me up. Please knock me up. How was it even possible to come harder than I already had? The peak crested and simmered, spilling into my arms and legs. Even my face tingled. Spilling into my arms and legs. Even my face tingled. Through the thin slits of my eyes, I watched Ernest lose it. Beautiful. His muscles bulging, painted with the flashing fireworks, he fucked me with enough power to break the chair under us. My body relaxed, my flesh yielding, the oversensitive nerve endings welcoming every rough fuck with fanfare. Oversensitive nerve endings welcoming every rough fuck with fanfare. My nipples ached deliciously, and I pictured white milk bubbling up at the tips. Drowning in ecstasy, I dreamed about my womb unfurling and swallowing this man's cock, about being bred so completely and so many times my stomach would be bloated. The sensations in my core grew electric when I imagined Ernest's cum in my womb. Before he was done, I was swept up into yet another climax, while the sky crackled and blazed. Into yet another climax, while the sky crackled and blazed. I shivered, my heart sprinting, as he slumped over me. He rained kisses down my throat and into the crook between my neck and shoulder. Staring at the bright lights flying across the night sky, I tried to burn this moment into my memory. Something told me this was it. This man was the peak of my sex life. This man was the peak of my sex life. Very slowly he pulled out, and my insides quivered before relaxing. Incredible as it seemed, I felt his cum. Every nook and cranny inside me was coated with the soothing, creamy liquid. I visualized the sealed opening to my womb covered with it, and I shuddered with an aftershock of pleasure. Covered with it, and I shuddered with an aftershock of pleasure. Yep, the results were in, and it was official. I developed a breeding kink. Anyway, how the hell did this man produce so much? Yeah. And it was official. I developed a breeding kink. Anyway, how the hell did this man produce so much seed? It was like a flood in my hole. Admittedly, some of it was my slick, but still. Fuck, I said philosophically. Ernest snorted out a half laugh. I said philosophically. Ernest snorted out a half laugh. Couldn't have expressed it better. We're... Half laugh. Couldn't have expressed it better. Come on, stomach. Half laugh. Couldn't have expressed it better. Come on, stomach. Half laugh. Couldn't have expressed it better. We're really good at this. Kissing my nipple, he nodded, then grinned devilishly up at me. We're excellent at fucking. Another kiss on the nub, a teasing hint of teeth. You bring out the best in me. You're blowing my mind, Lawrence. Best in me. You're blowing my mind, Lawrence. I sighed happily, and he gently bit my nipples, alternating sides and making me squirm. Had they ever been this receptive? He kneaded my thighs, and I had still to lower my legs. I didn't want the cum to leak out. I had still to lower my legs. I didn't want the cum to leak out. I had still to lower my legs. I didn't want the cum to leak out. I'm afraid you might have to shower again, he murmured before brushing his lips down my stomach and licking the few drops of my cum around my belly button. Nope, I wasn't giving up the unique sensation of his seed in me, not hot or cold, just there, abundant and deeply fulfilling, like my hole had been starving and he fed it. And deeply fulfilling, like my hole had been or cold, just there, abundant and deeply fulfilling, like my hole had been starving and he fed it. How much do you worry about your sheets? Well, they're washable. Why? I don't want to shower. About your sheets? Well, they're washable. Why? I don't want to shower. I want to keep your cum in my hole. Come on, stomach. Jesus fucking Christ. They're washable. Why? I don't want to shower. I want to keep your cum in my hole. Because I've gone batshit from too much sex, and I want to fall asleep imagining you've impregnated me. He flashed me a toothy smile. I like that. I like that a lot. He suckled on my softening dick, kissed my balls, placed one chaste kiss right on my tingling rim, and the next second I was airborne. How can you place a chaste kiss on someone's asshole? It doesn't work. On my tingling rim, and the next second I was airborne. Ernest carried me through the kitchen and living room area into his bedroom. The bed must have been custom-made. It looked bigger than a king size, much bigger. He laid me in the middle, brought 2 glasses of water, and cuddled me into his lap. Already zoning out, I smiled. Pulled me into his lap. Already zoning out, I smiled. The warmth from Ernest's big body seeped into mine. His cum felt truly amazing, suspiciously so. I was in a strange man's bed, more fucked out than I could ever remember being, and blissfully content. Too content. Like every cell in my body quietly buzzing, brain mushy, bones gooey, that level of gratification. It was so bizarre, I should have been freaking out, but instead I drifted on cloud 9. Muted by the closed window, the New Year's celebratory booms and bangs served as a lullaby, and I fell asleep like an overtired kitten.